Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. Appreciate everyone coming out. Good turnout, the mayors, sheriff's association, our supervisors, we appreciate it. We're here today in an effort to try to save our joint county-state workforce program. We understand that the commissioners has decided to do away with this in order to save $3 million off of the budget. This will cost cities and county government over $22 million. We got a chart that shows you what every county and city will be losing to replace these inmates. One of the biggest services that these inmates provide is picking up trash and debris on the side of the roads. And I can't imagine going through a month without picking up some debris on the side of the roads. So today we're calling on the governor, the state representatives, our senators, to try to save this workforce program. And if you're a taxpayer of Mississippi, I encourage you to call the governor, call your representatives, and urge him to not do away with this program. With that being said, I'm going to turn the floor over to my mayor from the city of Carthage, the Honorable Jimmy Wallace.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm here on behalf of the mayors, supervisors, board of the sheriff's department, and the citizens of the state of Mississippi. The prisoners are utilized in many, many different ways in our town and throughout the state. They do, as Joe Andy said, pick up trash, they cut grass, they work in parks. We even have a guy that helps read the water meters, and we've trained him to do that. And if the sheriff of Lee County was here, he would tell you that many churches in Lee County have been rehabbed because of this program, that they wouldn't have had the money to do that. So we have also teaching these guys skills once they are released from prison. As stated above, we do have 12 that work for us on a daily basis. And what it says on the chart over here, that's $235,000, and that's basically minimum wage plus a fringe. Now, that doesn't sound like very much, $235,000, but for a small town like us, it's a lot. The state deals in millions of dollars. This would cost, raising the taxes in Carthage, Mississippi, 8.3 mills, which is a lot. Not a lot of people are going to get re-elected raising the mills 8.3. But as a reminder to the powers that be, the people in Carthage, the people in Lee County, and in your county, they pay taxes locally and state and federal. They're the same guys. So if you save the state money and you're costing the county money, what's the deal? Okay? The same people pay the taxes. These same people vote locally, statewide, and in federal elections, national elections. So, you know, our hometown people are the people that count. And this is basically an unfunded mandate passed down to our citizens at home from the state government. We are here this morning to ask to reconsider their position about closing the joint state-county workforce program. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sheriff Harold Jones of Copiah County, and I'm the current president of Mississippi Sheriff Association. And we're here to stand with these folks in opposition to this bill, or this action that's fixed to be taken by MDOC. I'm here on behalf of the association to express our disagreement with the corrections decision to terminate the joint county-state work program. Our counties across the state rely on this program to provide inmate services and workers for all sorts of needed jobs. From lawn maintenance, litter removal on our highways, maintenance of our patrol vehicles for the sheriffs that are here. Now counties will have to find the funds and the folks and hire people to replace this inmate labor. This could lead to a tax increase for the citizens of the state of Mississippi. It simply doesn't make economic sense to end this program. Even if ending the program saves MDOC money, which we do not believe that the numbers show that it does, it will cost the citizens of the state of Mississippi. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Dick Hall. I'm the chairman of the Mississippi Transportation Commission, and today I'm speaking also for the other two commissioners on this issue. Now, I don't know a thing about running the Mississippi Department of Corrections, but this action that has been suggested is going to strongly affect the efforts of some of our operations at the Mississippi Department of Transportation. Mississippi has 30% more litter than the average of the other states in this country. Terrible thing to say, but it's a fact. It's a major problem with us. Personally, it's a big problem, I think, with me too. I just can't stand litter. I think it causes crime. It creates a lot of other problems. We have a contract with 109 counties and municipalities in this state to attack that problem. It has been one of the most successful things that we have entered into. Also, a partner in that is Keep Mississippi Beautiful, where they go out, they take prison labor and go out and clean up your highways in this state. If that is taken away from us, that labor force, it's going to cost us millions. We're going to have to pay somebody to go out there and pick up that 30% more litter that I wish didn't exist than other states do. This would have a direct effect on us. Not only the money will be a problem, but it's going to mean you're going to live in a state that's going to have more visible litter out there. And personally, I just can't stand that. So hopefully this will be reconsidered. It is a very serious problem with us, a very monetary problem, and hopefully the correction will be made. Thank you.
Again, my name is Derrick Surrette. I'm the Executive Director of the Mississippi Association of Supervisors. That concludes the speakers that we have today to speak on behalf of the Association of Supervisors, the Mississippi Municipal League, the Sheriff's Association, and the Department of Transportation. As you can see, there's a lot of people that depend on this program for the labor force. I did want to notice this sign that kind of got lost in the crowd, but we put this together. These are numbers from counties that we received letters from the county after they figured up how much they're going to lose, as well as cities. And you can see here from this, we just did the simple math that the Department of Corrections is going to save $3 million. That's what Commissioner Fisher stated to the news outlets. The loss in revenue, as you can see here, is over $20 million, $22.8 million to cities and counties. This is labor force that will have to be replaced to pick up the trash and the litter that these gentlemen have talked about, to cut grass and weed eat, all the jobs that are done. Also, there are facilities that have been built with taxpayer dollars, that bonds have been taken out for taxpayer dollars just for these facilities. We were told by the Department of Corrections and other officials that we had to build a special facility to hold inmates for the Joint State-County Work Program. Those facilities, many have not been paid off. Some are brand new. The taxpayers are going to be left holding the bag for that because there will not be the $20 per day to pay for that. So the net loss here is to the taxpayers of Mississippi, $20 million. And I think that's why you see so many people here today. I know there's probably questions that our members have and the news outlet has. I just wanted to make sure that we had this in front of us. We'll leave this for you today if you want to look for it some more often. At this time, we'll take questions that anybody may have.
If both the State County Work Program and the Department of Corrections CWCs are half empty, what would you suggest should be, and have a prospect of getting emptier as the prison population decreases, what would you suggest should be the policy?
I'll start out by trying to answer that question. We are not in control of how many inmates we have. Nobody's in control of that. But we are in control of how much this program costs versus housing inmates in other facilities, state facilities. This program costs the Department of Corrections $20 a day to house these inmates in a county jail. Well, on their website a couple months ago, it was $42 a day that was stated to house them in a community work center. Now, the commissioner has said if you fill those up, it's $22.80 a day. Well, that's still $2.80 a day per inmate. That adds up to almost $1 million in a year. So we think that no matter what the inmate population is, the benefit here is to have an inmate at $20 a day, and then also have an inmate carrying his or her own weight, picking up trash, picking up litter, cutting grass. If you take them out of here, where's the inmate going to be?
Isn't it true that the inmates perform the same kinds of work when they're living at the CWCs? That's some of your members get benefit from that?
There's only, what, 15 or 17 CWCs, so there's only 15 or 17 counties that's going to benefit from that.
CWC in Jefferson County was closed last week.
And the CWC in Jefferson County was closed last week, so you have one less of those to operate. These facilities are all across the state in cities and counties and towns, and the taxpayers get the benefit from having these inmates locally right there to do that work.
Tell us, why is this such an important issue?
Taxpayer money, taxpayer dollars, that's the main thing here, is saving taxpayers' dollars. Unfunded mandates, that's what we fight every year in the legislature, and that's what this is an unfunded mandate.
Tell us about the building that your county built specifically for this purpose, and what is that in jeopardy now in terms of financing it?
We have a 300-bed correctional facility, and they told us 7 years ago that if we built this special facility to house 75 inmates, we would have 75 people to get out that we could work every day. That's with MDOT, the city, and everybody. So we spent $600,000 to build this unit, and now it will be sitting there idle with no use if they take this joint state workforce program away from us.
What do you feel needs to happen?
Well, we need to leave it like it is. We need the $20 a day to pay for the facility because it's a lot cheaper than the state can house them. I mean, $3 million off their budget is not worth jeopardizing $22.5 million that the state and the cities will have to come up with.
If this stands as it is right now, how much would it cost you to pick up the trash that the inmates are currently picking up right now?
Well, we did a portfolio on that. Our county would have to spend $1 million and the city about $240 a year to replace these inmates with everything that we do with them. Picking up the garbage on the garbage trucks to picking up debris on the side of the road.
Tell us, what kind of an impact would this have on your town and your taxpayers?
The impact of the prisoners that we have, if we had to hire those, it would cost us $235,000. They perform a lot of services for us. We are rehabbing a historic school building. Some of those guys have carpenter skills, and we've been able to utilize those guys at the school, doing repairs at school, wall repair, seat repair, and those kind of things.
What do you feel needs to happen?
I'm sorry?
What needs to happen?
What needs to happen is leave it alone just like it is. We people in the city and the county and the sheriff's department, we don't know about running the state prisons, but their problems are, we don't need their problems passed down to our local citizens, and that's what this will do.
Tell us, what are the advantages of keeping these state prisoners in local jails throughout Mississippi?
The advantage is the money we save the taxpayers by keeping the litter off the highways. You know, that's a plus situation for us to be able to go out and pick up litter all over the counties. That's a plus. I mean, that if you didn't do it with state inmates, you'd have to hire it done, and it would cost the taxpayers, which is what this is going to make happen. you're going to charge the cost of taxpayers.
In addition to picking up trash, what other skills do the inmates learn while they're there?
Now, at Greg Wagner's CW Joint County Work State program up in Lee County, they have GEDs. They get their GED and they go to school. He also has a church cleanup crew. And that's all they do is they go to churches, clean headstones, anything a church needs. And they learn skills. He has a carpentry shop. He has a mechanic shop. Lee County Joint County Work State program in Carthage is a place that you people need to go look at and see what that they're trying to close. That's a class facility. Sheriff Greg Wagner, Lee County.
In your estimation, what needs to happen?
Somebody needs to get together. We need to have a collective discussion about this instead of just all of a sudden this is going to happen and there's no alternative. There's got to be something else that we can do, to mitigate this.
You've heard the discussion here today. Give us some of the high points and the value that this program offers to not only the inmates but Mississippi taxpayers. I've got it.
You got it. Well, of course, I know most from the perspective of the Transportation Commission. This decision by the Department of Corrections can have a major effect on a very popular program we have. Mississippians, unfortunately, litter more than most states. In fact, it's estimated that we litter about 30% more than most states in this country. So it's a major problem with us. We have a contract with 109 counties and municipalities to pick up the litter on our state highways. They use inmate labor to pick up the litter on our highways. If they're taken from this program, the program's going to fall apart, and we won't have anybody out there to pick it up. We're going to go hire somebody to do it. So it's going to have a serious monetary effect on our agency, and it's also going to have a serious detrimental effect to the quality of life in Mississippi. All that litter out there. So it's a major issue with us. And I was impressed today with the group here from the counties, from municipalities, and what they had to say about it. Of course, everybody's affected a little differently. It's going to affect each of us monetarily, and also I tell you what, frankly, I think people like to see prisoners out working. They're taxpayers. They wonder what that guy's doing. They don't want him laying up some bunk bed up in Parchment. They want him out there doing something. Now, I get that positive feedback every time we have a crew out there. So it's a good program. It works. It's relatively inexpensive now. And if we do away with it, then it's going to become very expensive.
What value does this have for the prisoners themselves?
Oh, that does have a value. In fact, I got a lot of, that's an interesting question. I got talking to some of the sheriffs today and county officials here, talking about how many of them go out, get a job after it's over with. They got, because of participating in these work programs, they've learned to show up for work. They've learned some discipline about it. They've learned how to do things and listen to supervision and instruction, and they go out and get employed. And I've had a number of them today tell me use the exact circumstances where that happens. So that's one of those things that people don't realize that's a very positive outcome of the program.
Tell us, how would this decision affect your county?
It will affect our county to the tune of about $340,000 per year. And then that does not include what it really does to the inmates as well. I don't believe in warehousing individuals, and this gives the inmate an opportunity to learn a trade because we have outside building and grounds, one of which we just hired not too long ago that was an inmate, and when he got out, we hired him in the county. So it's very important to tourism to help us with the litter problem. That is only a minor part of what we do because of the outside building grounds, the Parks and Recreation, and the Road Department. They have remodeled buildings. They have been very instrumental in any type of remodeling that had to be done in courtrooms or anything that has to be done in the county, and they're an intricate part of that. So it will not only cost us tax dollars, but it will also cost us a significant amount of training for those individuals who do make bad decisions and become inmates.
What kind of response have you had from the taxpayers in your community to the work that is done by the inmates?
Well, a lot of people do not like to know that their tax dollars are going to pay for someone to sit inside of a jail and do nothing. And this opportunity gives the taxpayers understand, and they feel like their tax dollars are going for something good because they're actually getting out and helping to defer some of that cost.